Hey everybody, I want to talk to you about my second chance in life. It's a miraculous story, quite amazing. 2009 in December, I was diagnosed with spots and lesions on my temporal lobe, and I had a thumb-sized mass tumor behind the right optic nerve in front of the frontal lobe. You can't imagine when you hear that. That's quite, talk about getting the baseball bat knocked between your knees. It's quite a hit. After going through some tests and stuff and them showing what I had, it started getting very aggressive. I was having some issues prior. I always thought it was too much partying and too many hits to the head. Well, I was right about too many hits to the head. Within 4 or 5 months, it was so aggressive. I mean, the pain, the pressure that was in my head, it's indescribable. I mean, there wasn't enough bags of ice. I used to take 30 milligram morphine pills, Percocets. I would just, and bags of ice. Then I started losing my mind. More and more. I'd look at people, my friends, my kids, and I'd forget who they were. As the doctor said to me at one point, my symptoms, not that I had the diseases, was pretty much like dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson all stuffed into one. I was 45 years old. Things started going real south. By August of 2010, I basically couldn't walk. Couldn't function very well. It was quite, I don't want nobody pitying me or feeling sorry, because look at me. I'm walking, talking, and I can go to the bathroom by myself. Considering having a temporal lobe craniotomy. It was rough. Thinking about it, I remember driving, and it was looking at trees and mountainscapes. And never in my life I ever looked at them in that way. It was like seeing them for the first time and seeing them for the last time. That's how those months all felt. My kids, young, my son, he was 9, 8 years old, my daughter, 11. And sitting there, looking at them. Anything they did, I cherished. Make a joke, even if they picked their nose, I cherished it. Then by September, I didn't know who I was. That's how bad it got. They basically tell me I better get my stuff in order. I want you to think about those words. It's something I live with every day. Get your stuff in order. When someone says, hey, get your stuff together in order, it kind of reminds me of these doctors who I think you all can imagine, understand what that means. Get your affairs in order. So they come across and say we could do the surgery. I was dying at this time. And I had put up one hell of a facade for everybody. As I would say, I don't break, I bend. And I bend very well. They tell me you could do the surgery. You got a 20% chance of surviving it and a 20% chance of coming out normal. I'm like, oh shit, who the hell's normal? Who's normal? I knew one thing. If I'm dying, I'm gonna try dying, that's for sure. So I said, let's do this surgery. Everybody there were some people in my family who were like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I don't want to die going like that, because that's where I was going. So on November 17th of 2010, Dr. Werner Doyle, Eric Geller, down at St. Barnabas, they did this surgery. And this is the outcome of it. It's coming out of that surgery, I woke up within minutes after coming out of the OR. And I mean, when I woke up like, hey, I'm here. I remember the nurse running into the OR saying, he's up. And I remember the two doctors, Geller and Doyle, coming in. And they're looking at me, and I'm looking at them like, hey guys, what's up? And they're like, huh? You know, everybody was in, I mean, when I woke up, everybody, it wasn't like, hi, I'm awake. It was like, you know, like I am right now. And they just drilled a big hole in my head and took out half my brain. And that pain and that pressure in my head was gone. I was able to move. I remember raising my hand and grabbing the doctor, both doctors, by their arms and saying, that pain and pressure is gone. It was, oh, I had that pain and pressure in my head for decades. I was a prescribed junkie, as I would say. Coming out of that, being so alive, having that second chance, looking at the mountains again, looking at those trees again, looking at my kids picking their nose again. You can't imagine. It's this energy I have, and I haven't lost it. I've met a lot of people of their stigma of people with brain injury and head injuries. I got one thing for all those people. You have no idea what I'm capable of doing. It's, you know, people have, I can kind of relate to it, to a dear friend of mine. She had breast cancer, and she had her breast removed. And for women, that's a very, guys, it's like having your penis removed, you know? And as I thought about it, I didn't have my penis removed, I didn't have my breast removed. I had a part of my brain removed. And I'm functioning more alive than I've ever been. My kids, watching them grow these last 7 years, to have that opportunity and that second chance to relive life again. I joke around and say, you know, I'm 54 years old, but in a lot of ways I'm 9. I'm learning, like, from the day he came out of mama's womb, you know, to a point where it's a wonderful thing. It's not like, oh, don't feel sorry for me. It's actually really amazing and fun doing it all over again. But as a 54-year-old man, it's like I said, you have to live it to really understand what it's like. You know, like I said, I don't want nobody pitying me. I don't want nobody feeling sorry for me. Look at me. I'm so alive and functioning. I want to get it out there to anybody. There's one thing I definitely want to know. I want to know if there's someone out there like me that's had this done. Because that's a question I have. Because in a lot of ways, all you people have all your brain. I don't. You all feel normal. Sometimes I don't. If you're out there, find me. Get in touch with me. And all you people who have had brain issues and brain injury, I've learned and I've taught myself a lot of things that doctors look at me and go, how'd you do that? If I can help you, I'm not saying it's for everybody. Everybody's different. We all know that. but I've been able to do a lot of things that I haven't been able to do. You know, the temporal lobe is the most important part of your brain. That's where your short-term memory is, your language, your speech, your comprehension, your motor skills, your appetite, your thermostat, the capability of your visual to look at me sitting here talking about it. That's all what the temporal lobe does. That's like if you want to use it as like a computer, that's the processor. Everything's got to go, like all the other parts, your frontal lobe, your occipital lobe, they all got to go through the temporal lobe for you to do things. So if you're out there, I've learned a lot. And it'd be nice to know if there's someone doing what I'm doing. It really would. It'd make me feel normal. Because we are normal, regardless of what everybody says or thinks. We're normal. You know, I have to say I've dealt with a lot. And it's the people around people like us, they're the ones that make them off the wall. Everybody be safe. And if you're out there, please let me know. I want to talk to you. Don't be afraid.